Have you ever really thought about this? What does it actually mean to feel alive? Is it your heart beating? Is it the thoughts in your mind? The air in your lungs? Or is it something deeper? Something you're not even aware of until it's gone? Because here's a truth that almost no one thinks about. You've already died. Not in some metaphorical poetic sense. I mean this literally, biologically, scientifically. Parts of you, real living parts, have already ended. Some are in the process right now. And the rest, they're fading, cell by cell, moment by moment. But wait, don't panic, because this isn't something to fear. In fact, it's one of the most beautiful, fascinating, and strangely hopeful things about being human. You see, death inside you is what keeps you alive. Your body is not a finished product. It's a living system, constantly destroying and rebuilding itself. You're not a fixed thing. You're a moving process, a walking paradox, a masterpiece that's being painted even as it fades. And once you understand that, you'll start to see everything differently. But before we go deeper into this strange reality, let me ask you something. Where are you watching this from right now? Which country, which city, and what time is it where you are? Scroll down for a second, leave a comment and let me know. I love seeing how far this message can travel. Across time zones, across bodies, across minds. All right, now take a breath and stay with me. Because once you learn what's really happening inside you, you'll never look at your body or your life the same way again. Think about this for a moment. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? One face, one name, one person, a you. But that's a comforting illusion. The truth is far, far stranger. Science has discovered something that completely rewrites what it means to be alive. You are not one body. You are not one organism. You are a living, breathing swarm. Inside you, right now, there are more than 30 trillion human cells. That's 30 trillion. Each one a tiny living unit with its own job, its own energy, and its own lifespan. And these cells, they are born, they live, and they die. Thousands every second, millions every minute. Right now, as you listen to this, more than 1 million cells inside you just died. Gone, silent, like tiny stars burning out across a biological universe. And just as quietly, new cells are being born to replace them. No ceremony, no panic, just the rhythm of nature happening inside you. You are not a solid being. You are more like a wave, a pulse, held together not by a single life, but by a pattern of constant renewal. Your bones, replaced. Your blood, recycled. Your skin, already dead on the outside, while fresh cells rise beneath. Even your brain, the part you call you, is made of cells that live, die, and rebuild again and again. Here's the most mind-blowing part. None of those 30 trillion cells knows who you are. They don't have a face. They don't know your name. They don't even know you exist. They only follow signals, chemicals, instructions written in molecules. But together they form the illusion of a single human being. You. You are not a thing. You are a process. a colony of billions of lives cooperating, struggling, dying, and dividing, all so that you can sit here right now and listen to this. And it gets even stranger. Some of those cells aren't even human. Roughly half the cells in your body are microbes, bacteria, viruses, fungi, living passengers you carry with you every second. They help you digest food, defend your immune system, even shape your moods. And yet, you don't think of them as part of you. But without them, you wouldn't survive a day. So what are you really? You are a walking city of life, an ecosystem, a living universe of cooperation and chaos that somehow moves through the world with a single name and a single heartbeat. You are not one life. You are the result of billions of tiny deaths happening every single day. And that's what makes you alive. Lesson 2. You started dying the moment you were born. It sounds dark, even cruel. You started dying the moment you were born. But this isn't a metaphor. It's not just poetry or fear-mongering. It's the truth. Biological, measurable, unavoidable. Let's go back to your first second of life. When you were born, fresh into the world, crying, lungs filled with air for the first time, everyone around you celebrated life. But something else also began in that moment. A quiet clock started ticking. A clock not on your wall, but in your cells. Because the very act that gives you life, cell division, is also what slowly leads you to death. Here's what most people never learn in school. Your body is made of trillions of cells. And to grow, heal, and survive, these cells must divide constantly. Every second of your life, millions of them copy themselves to keep your organs working, your skin renewing, your blood flowing, and your brain functioning. But each time a cell divides, it makes a copy of its DNA, the instruction manual of life. And every time it makes that copy, it gets a little worse. That's not a glitch. That's part of the design. At the end of each DNA strand, there are protective caps called telomeres. Imagine the plastic tips on shoelaces. They keep your DNA from unraveling. But every time a cell divides, those telomeres shorten, just a little bit. It's like copying a book over and over again, but each time, a few letters from the last page vanish. Eventually, those telomeres become too short. And once they're gone, the cell can't safely divide anymore. It becomes damaged. It shuts down. Or worse, it begins to malfunction. Some cells enter a zombie-like state called senescence, where they don't die, but they also don't help. They just linger, releasing toxic signals that poison nearby cells. Others die completely. And the result? You age. Your skin loses elasticity. Your joints ache. Your muscles weaken. Your immune system slows. Your memory falters. Your heart tires. Your body forgets how to be young. And here's what most people don't realize. This isn't something that happens at 60 or Kirk or even 20. It begins the moment you are born. The aging process, the decline, the wear, the entropy starts on day one. So yes, you were born growing, but you were also born breaking. Every breath you take is a chemical reaction. Every heartbeat uses up energy. Every movement causes microscopic damage. Life is built on sacrifice. To stay alive, your body must burn itself slowly. That's why no matter how healthy you are, how well you eat, how much you exercise, or how much money you have, you can't stop the wear. You can slow it down, delay it, mask it, but you cannot escape it. Because death is not a sudden event at the end of life. It's a process that starts at the very beginning. It's baked into your biology, woven into your cells, written in your DNA. Now here's the part that's hard to hear, but also beautiful. Your body was never built to last forever. And it shouldn't be. You are not here to be permanent. You are here to move, to change, to experience, to feel, and eventually to let go. If your cells didn't age, you couldn't grow. If they didn't die, you couldn't heal. If they didn't wear down, there would be no reason to cherish the time you have. Your mortality isn't your curse. It's what gives your life meaning. So yes, you started dying the moment you were born. But maybe that's not something to fear. Maybe it's something to honor. Because it means your life is precious, not because it lasts forever, but because it doesn't. Lesson 3, your skin is already dead, and that's what keeps you alive. Take a look at your hands, your arms, your face in the mirror. What you're seeing isn't alive. It looks like you. It feels like you. But it's not really you. Not the living version anyway. The truth is almost impossible to believe at first. The skin you see, the part of you that the world touches, is already dead. Yes, the outermost layer of your body, the part that carries your identity, your scars, your color, your fingerprints, is made up of cells that have no life left in them. But why? Why would nature cover you in death? Because that's exactly what keeps you alive. Let's dive deeper. Your skin isn't one simple layer. It's made up of multiple levels. And at the very bottom of those layers are living, dividing skin cells, working tirelessly, hidden from the world. They grow. They copy themselves. They push upward, one layer at a time, slowly rising to the surface of your body. And as they rise, something strange happens. They begin to die, not in a dramatic way, not like organs shutting down, but slowly, quietly, systematically. They lose their nuclei. They stop dividing. They harden. They flatten. By the time those cells reach the surface, the part you can touch and see, they're no longer living at all. They're dead husks, empty shells. And yet, they're protecting you. Because this dead layer does something extraordinary. It forms a shield, one of the most advanced and beautiful in all of nature. It blocks out bacteria. It seals in moisture. It guards against UV rays, toxins, cuts, and infections. It's flexible, waterproof, and constantly renewing itself. Without your permission, without your awareness. And here's the part that sounds like science fiction. Every single day, you shed over 30,000 to 40,000 dead skin cells. Every minute. That's about 9 pounds of skin every year. And you never even notice. You are a constantly snowing mountain of microscopic death. And it's this endless shedding that keeps you from being overwhelmed by infection, fungus, and decay. Without this layer of dead cells, you would die in days. Now think about that. We spend our lives obsessing over our skin. We clean it, cover it, decorate it, judge it. We build entire industries around how it looks, how smooth it is, how young or old it seems. But almost nobody ever tells us the truth. The version of you that the world sees isn't alive. It's just the sacrificial armor your body builds from the inside out, layer by layer, only to be discarded and replaced again. So the next time you feel your skin, remember this: you are not touching the living part of yourself. You are touching a graveyard of cells, arranged perfectly to shield what still lives beneath. And somehow, that's beautiful, because it means your body was never afraid of death. It knew how to use it. It built death into your protection. It turned decay into defense. You are walking around in a suit of cells that died so the rest of you could live. And that's not terrifying. That's evolution's masterpiece. Lesson 4. Your cells are programmed to self-destruct on purpose. Imagine this. You're walking through a massive city at night. Billions of tiny lights twinkle from windows, each one a home, a life, a system. Now zoom in. That city is your body, and those lights, they're your cells, each one alive, working and intelligent in its own microscopic way. But here's the strange, uncomfortable truth. In that city, some lights are meant to go out, not by accident, not from damage, but by design. Because inside you, right now, some of your own living cells are preparing for something chilling, their own death. Not in protest, not from illness, but because they've been programmed to self-destruct. This isn't science fiction. It's called apoptosis, often referred to as cellular suicide. And it's one of the most vital, life-preserving processes in your entire body. Let me explain. From the moment you are just a fertilized egg, your cells have been dividing, building, shaping you. But at the same time, another process began: unbuilding. While some cells were told to grow, others were told to die. You see, your body doesn't just build organs, bones, and skin. It also edits them. It carves, shapes, removes the extra. When you were developing in the womb, you actually had webbed fingers and toes, like a small aquatic creature. But apoptosis stepped in. Those cells were given a quiet order: self-destruct, make room, disappear. Without that pre-programmed death, you wouldn't look human at all. In fact, you might have been born with extra fingers, fused limbs, or worse. But apoptosis doesn't stop after birth. It stays with you every second of your life. It's like a silent guardian roaming your body, scanning for danger. When a cell becomes damaged beyond repair, when it's infected by a virus, when it begins to mutate in a way that could become cancerous, apoptosis makes a brutal but necessary call: end yourself for the good of the whole. And the cell obeys. It dismantles its own parts, shrinks, packages itself for recycling, and quietly disappears. This is not random. This is not a flaw. This is a built-in safety system refined over billions of years of evolution. And without it, you would die if apoptosis failed for even a few days. Mutated cells could multiply unchecked. Cancer would form. Organs would swell. Tissue would deform. Your body would spiral into chaos. Because life without death becomes monstrous. Think about that for a moment. We are taught to fear death as if it's the opposite of life. But in reality, death is what makes life possible. Even at the tiniest level, your body understands this. It doesn't see death as evil. It sees it as necessary, as a discipline, as a way to maintain order. Sometimes what keeps you alive is that certain parts of you are willing to die at the right time, and perhaps that's something deeper to reflect on. Because in nature and in life, what we let go of is just as important as what we hold on to. Lesson 5. Most of you has already been replaced. This might surprise you. Most of the body you had a few years ago is gone. Yes, really gone. Because your body is not fixed. It's not made to stay the same. Your body is constantly rebuilding itself cell by cell, and over time, nearly every part of you is replaced. Let's break it down. You are made of tiny units called cells, trillions of them, and they don't live forever. Each cell has a job, and when it's done, it dies. Then your body creates new ones. This is happening all the time. Right now, even as you read this, your skin is replaced about every 2 to 4 weeks. Your red blood cells live for about 3 to 4 months. Your stomach lining, it renews every few days. Even your bones, which seem strong and unchanging, are rebuilt slowly over the course of 7 to 10 years. So in about 7 years, almost every cell in your body has been replaced. Think about that. The you from 7 years ago. That body no longer exists, but somehow you still feel like the same person. Same name, same personality, same memories. So what does that mean? If almost everything in your body is new, but your sense of self remains the same, then maybe your body is not what makes you you. Maybe you are something more. Maybe you are a pattern, not a thing, a process, not a structure. Your body is like a city. Buildings wear down, roads get repaired, lights are changed, but the city still has the same name, the same shape, the same identity. You are a living city, always under construction, and yet, somehow, your brain keeps the story going. Your memories and thoughts create a feeling of being you, even though the parts keep changing. And that's not a weakness, it's a miracle, because it means you're not stuck. You're always growing, always becoming something new. And yet, you still carry your story forward. So, next time you feel lost, or like you haven't changed at all, remember this. You already have. You're changing every second and becoming a brand new version of yourself. Again and again. Most of you is gone. But the best part, you're still here. Let me know when you're ready for lesson 6 in this same style. You said, make it long. ChatGPT said, absolutely. Here's a much longer, richer, and still easy to understand version of lesson 5, without emojis, designed to hold attention, build suspense, and create emotional impact while staying simple and accessible. Lesson 5. Most of you has already been replaced, and the person you were no longer exists. Let's ask a strange question. If your body is always changing, if the parts of you are always dying and being replaced, then who are you really? This isn't just philosophy, it's biology. Your body is made of trillions of tiny living units called cells. Each one has a job. Each one has a lifespan, and every single day, millions of them die. And every single day, millions of new ones are born. You don't feel it, you don't see it, but it's happening right now. As you breathe, blink, and think. How much of you is already gone? Let's break it down. Your skin cells live only 2 to 4 weeks. Your red blood cells last around 4 months. The lining of your stomach? It's replaced every 2 to 5 days. Your white blood cells, some live for just hours. Even your bones, which seem solid and unchanging, are broken down and rebuilt over the course of 7 to 10 years. Your liver replaces most of its cells every 1 to 2 years, which means this. In about 7 to 10 years, almost your entire body has been rebuilt, cell by cell, piece by piece, quietly, without your permission, without you noticing. So, where did the old you go? Gone? It's not in your bloodstream anymore. It's not in your bones, your hair, or your muscles. Those parts were shed into the air, into your bed sheets, into the world. The you from years ago, that version of you has been lost, recycled into the earth. And yet, you still recognize your face. You still remember your name. You still carry your thoughts, fears, hopes, memories, which leads to something very strange. If your body has changed, but yourself hasn't, then who are you? This question stuns scientists and philosophers alike, because we assume we are our bodies, that our cells define us, that our flesh is our identity. But if every part of your body can be replaced, and you still feel like you, then maybe your body is just the vessel, not the person. You're not made of matter. You're made of pattern, a constantly shifting structure that somehow holds on to a single identity. You're not the water. You're the wave. Not the parts, but the process. You are change itself, wrapped in skin. You are a story in motion. Your cells don't define you. They're just the actors on stage. What defines you is the story that continues through all the change. Your memories, your personality, your dreams, your sense of self. All of that has to survive the constant death and rebirth of your physical body. And somehow, it does. Every day, you become someone slightly different. You're never exactly the same as you were yesterday, but you're never fully someone new either. You are a process of becoming, a living cycle of loss and renewal, a biological miracle that replaces itself and stays alive while doing it. What does this mean for your life? It means you're never stuck. You've already survived massive change. You've already shed pieces of yourself and replaced them. You've done it without fear, without effort, without even realizing. So the next time you feel like change is too hard, remember, you've already changed more than you know. Not just emotionally, not just mentally, but physically, totally. And you're still here, still becoming, still you. So if your old self is gone and your future self is still forming, then what are you right now? You're the bridge, the transformation in progress, the moment between the old and the new. And that is what makes you alive. Lesson 6. Even your DNA has a built-in timer, and that timer has already started counting down. Have you ever wondered why we age? Why your skin wrinkles? Why your hair turns gray? why your body slowly changes, even if you eat well, exercise, and avoid harm. It all starts in a place you can't see, not in your heart, not in your brain, but in something far smaller, hidden inside every single one of your cells. It's called DNA, and it's silently keeping track of time. Now imagine this. Your body is like a city. Every cell is a tiny worker, and your DNA, it's the blueprint they all follow to do their job. But there's a problem. Every time these workers divide, to grow, to repair, or to stay alive, they have to make a copy of your DNA over and over millions of times. And this copying process comes with a price. Telomeres, the fraying ends of life's thread. At the ends of your DNA, there are tiny little pieces called telomeres. You can think of them like the plastic tips at the end of your shoelaces. They don't carry instructions. They're not part of your genes. They're just protection. Each time your cells divide, a little bit of the telomere wears off. Just like the tip of your shoelace starts to fray after too much use. The cell tries to copy your DNA carefully, but it can't reach all the way to the end. So a small part of the telomere is lost. Not once, but every single time. Now that's fine. At first, telomeres are long enough to last for many divisions. They're like the spare thread at the end of life's rope. But here's the catch. Once they run out, the cell can't divide anymore. That's when the cell either shuts down or self-destructs. And when enough cells stop working, tissues get weak. Organs fail. The body slows. Aging begins to show. You are born with a countdown inside you. It starts on day one. The moment you were born, your cells began dividing. Your body grew taller. Your brain developed. Your organs matured. But with every new cell came a shorter telomere. Tick by tick, one step closer to the end of the line. And the most shocking part, there's no reset button. You can't tell your cells, start fresh. They don't have a backup plan. They're simply following the same rule every human has followed since the beginning of time. Copy the DNA, shorten the telomeres. Repeat until you can't. The Hayflick limit, your cell's maximum lifespan. Scientists discovered that cells can only divide about 40 to 60 times before they stop. This is known as the Hayflick limit. After that, the cell either becomes inactive or worse, it becomes dangerous. Sometimes, instead of shutting down, it starts behaving badly. It sends out the wrong signals. It spreads inflammation. It even mutates. These are the same patterns we see in age-related diseases. Alzheimer's, cancer, heart failure. They all trace back to aging cells and those shrinking telomeres. Your DNA holds the instructions, but the telomeres tell you how many times you get to use them. What speeds up your countdown? Here's what's truly frightening. Telomeres don't shrink at the same speed for everyone. In fact, some people burn through theirs much faster than others. Here's what accelerates the damage. Chronic stress, lack of sleep, smoking, poor diet, pollution, obesity, loneliness. That's right, even your emotions can affect your biology. Stress can literally age you at the cellular level. Anger, isolation, depression. They're not just feelings, they're biological attacks on your telomeres. And once they're gone, they're gone. Aging is not a mystery. It's math. Think of your telomeres like a prepaid phone card. Every time you make a call, every time your cells divide, you use up a little bit of time, and eventually, the minutes run out. It's not a question of if, but when. And when they do, your body enters a new phase. Skin loses its elasticity. Blood vessels stiffen. Joints ache. Your immune system weakens. Healing slows. Memory fades. Energy dips. These aren't just signs of getting old. They're symptoms of a biological countdown that began the moment you were born. So, can we stop it? Here's the hopeful twist. Scientists have discovered something strange. Some cells can rebuild their telomeres. They use a special enzyme called telomerase. Cancer cells use it, which is part of why they live so long and grow so wildly. But so do some stem cells, the kind that help your body heal. Right now, researchers are exploring ways to activate telomerase in healthy cells. Some believe it could slow aging, maybe even reverse some damage. Others warn it could increase the risk of cancer if misused. The science is young, but the possibilities are enormous. Imagine a future where aging isn't a slow decline, but a process you can manage, delay, or even pause. We're not there yet, but we're learning. So what can you do right now? You may not be able to regrow your telomeres, but you can protect what's left. Get more sleep. Eat whole, healthy food. Move your body. Spend time with people you care about. Avoid stress when you can, and learn to manage it when you can't. Stay curious. Stay kind. Stay active. Because every choice you make affects your cells. And every cell you protect is more time added to your internal clock. You are made of 30 trillion living things, all of them trying to keep you going. They work tirelessly, even as their time runs out. So respect that. Live like it matters, because it does. Your DNA remembers every day you've lived, but your telomeres count how many days you have left. Make each one count. Lesson 6. Even your DNA has a built-in timer. You might think of time as something measured by clocks and calendars, but did you know your own body has its own timer, ticking away deep inside your cells? Let's break it down. Inside every cell is DNA. Your body is made up of trillions of tiny things called cells. Each cell is like a tiny worker, and inside each one is your DNA, a set of instructions that tells the cell what to do. This DNA is packed into long strands called chromosomes. Now here's the interesting part. At the very tips of each DNA strand, there are little caps. They're called telomeres. You can think of telomeres like the plastic tips on the ends of your shoelaces. They don't hold any instructions. They don't do anything fancy. They're just there to protect your DNA. If those caps wear out, the DNA starts to get damaged, like a shoelace fraying without the plastic tip. Every time your cells divide, your telomeres get shorter. Why do your cells divide? To keep you alive. Cells divide to repair cuts, replace old cells, help you grow, and more. But each time a cell divides, it has to make a copy of your DNA. And during that copying process, a small part of the telomere is lost. It's like tearing off a tiny piece of paper from the corner every time you make a copy. At first, it's no big deal. The telomeres are long enough to handle it. But over time, after many divisions, the telomeres become shorter and shorter. When telomeres get too short, the cell stops working. There comes a point where the telomeres are so short that the cell can't divide anymore. It either stops working, goes to sleep, or shuts down completely. This is one of the main reasons we age. Your skin gets thinner, your hair turns gray. Your body becomes slower to heal. Your energy goes down. All of this happens in part because the telomeres in your cells are wearing out. You were born with a timer already running. From the moment you were born, your cells began dividing. That means your telomeres started shrinking right away. It's like being handed a long candle on your first day. And every time your cells divide, a tiny part of that candle melts away. The flame keeps burning, and there's no way to blow it out. Some people's candles burn slower, others burn faster. But one thing is always true. The candle gets shorter. This countdown is part of life. It might sound scary, but actually, this countdown is important. If cells could divide forever, they might go out of control. That's what happens in cancer, when cells don't stop dividing, even when they're damaged. So telomeres act like a safety switch. When they're too short, they tell the cell, it's time to stop. In this way, telomeres protect you. They keep your cells from making too many mistakes. They keep broken cells from growing wild. They help your body know when to rest, repair, and eventually let go. Can you slow it down? Yes, but not by much. There's no way to stop telomeres from getting shorter. But research shows some things can help slow the process. Eating healthy food, getting good sleep, avoiding stress, not smoking, moving your body often, spending time with people you care about. These things don't just make you feel better, they help protect your cells. So what's the big idea? You carry a silent clock inside you, not a ticking one like on the wall, but a biological timer. Every time your cells divide, tick. Your telomeres shrink, tick. Your body changes, tick. It's slow. You don't feel it, but it's always happening. That timer is part of what makes you human, part of what connects you to every living person. We all have telomeres. We all have a clock. We're all here for a little while, and that's what makes life precious. So next time you look in the mirror and see a new wrinkle or feel tired after a long day, just remember, that's not just aging. That's your body's way of telling time, and every second it keeps going is another sign you're alive. Lesson 7. Your body is always recycling itself. Most people think they've had the same body their whole lives, but that's not true. The you from a few years ago? Almost completely gone. Replaced, rebuilt, remade. Let's break it down. You are not one thing. You are a moving, changing system. Your body is made up of trillions of cells. Every cell has a job. Some carry oxygen, some fight germs, some store fat. Some help you think, move, or see. But here's the thing. Cells don't last forever. They live for a certain amount of time and then they die. When they die, new cells take their place. Over and over, day after day. for your entire life. The quiet replacement you never notice. Your skin cells live about 2 to 4 weeks before being replaced. Your red blood cells last around 4 months. The lining of your stomach is replaced in just a few days. Your bones take years to fully renew, but even they are not permanent. Even parts of your heart slowly replace themselves. This means that in roughly 7 to 10 years, most of the cells you have right now will be gone, replaced with new ones. You are walking around in a body that is always under construction. So, where does the old you go? It doesn't just disappear into nothing. The old you is shed as dust. It floats into the air. It washes away when you shower. It gets recycled into the environment. Parts of your old self may end up as part of the soil, the water, even the air someone else breathes. In a strange way, you've been leaving pieces of yourself everywhere you've ever been. You are a living cycle. Think about it. The cells you have today came from food you ate yesterday, and that food came from plants or animals, and those plants or animals came from the earth. The materials that make you up have been part of countless other living things before you. And one day, they will become part of something else again. You're not just one person in time. You are part of an endless chain of life. The mystery of identity. If most of your body is replaced every few years, if the you from 10 years ago is physically gone, then who are you? Clearly, you're more than just your cells. You are your memories, your thoughts, your experiences. Those don't get replaced in the same way. They travel with you through all the physical changes. Your body changes, but your story continues. Why this matters? Some people fear change, but your entire life is proof that you can survive massive change without even noticing it. Your cells have been dying and being replaced every single day you've been alive. You've been through complete transformations more than once. And yet, you still feel like yourself. This means you can handle more change than you think. You're built for it. So remember, the you see in the mirror today is only temporary. It's a version that's here for a short time before being replaced. But your essence, the part that thinks, feels, and remembers, keeps going. Your body is a living wave made of moving parts. The water in the wave changes every second, but the wave itself continues. That's you, always changing, always becoming, and always alive. Lesson 8. Some of your cells are older than the sun, and some are brand new. When you look in the mirror, you might think all of you is the same age. After all, your birthday is your birthday, right? But your body tells a very different story. Some parts of you are ancient, billions of years old in a way you might not expect. Others are so new, they didn't even exist a few days ago. You are both old and new at the exact same time. The ancient you, atoms older than time as we know it. Let's start with the oldest part of you, your atoms. Every single atom in your body, the carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, was made in a star that exploded long before Earth even existed. The iron in your blood? It came from a supernova, a dying star that lit up the galaxy billions of years ago. The calcium in your bones? It was forged in the heart of an ancient star before our solar system was born. So when people say you are made of stardust, they mean it literally. You carry the universe's oldest materials in every cell. These atoms have been part of countless other things before they became part of you. A tree, millions of years ago. The ocean, a dinosaur. A cloud, another person's body. You are, in a very real way, a living history of the universe. The brand new you, cells that didn't exist last week. While your atoms are ancient, your cells are constantly being replaced. Some are so new that they weren't around just days ago. For example, your stomach lining renews every 3 to 5 days. Your skin cells last only a few weeks. The inside of your mouth repairs itself in just days. This means that some parts of you right now are younger than the milk in your fridge. You are a blend of the past and the present. You're not just young or old. You're both. The ancient stardust in your bones has been here since before the earth formed, but the cells carrying that stardust may have been born yesterday. It's like living in a house built from ancient bricks, but constantly replacing the furniture, windows, and walls. The materials stay. The structure changes. The illusion of being one unchanging person. It feels like you've been one solid you your whole life. But in reality, you've been replaced so many times you've lost count. Cells have come and gone. Atoms have been swapped out. And yet, your mind holds onto a continuous story, the feeling of being you. That story is the thread that ties your past and present together. Without it, you'd feel like a completely different person every time a few cells were replaced. Why this is beautiful? It means you are connected to the entire history of the universe. When you drink water, you might be sipping molecules once swallowed by a whale. When you breathe, you take in air that might have passed through the lungs of an ancient king or a bird flying over the pyramids. You're not separate from the world. You're part of it. And it's part of you. Always changing, always connected, always moving between old and new. So remember, the next time you feel small or unimportant, think about this. You carry the universe in your blood. You are made of things older than the sun. And at the same time, parts of you are so new they weren't here last week. You are a bridge between the ancient past and the living present. And every second, that bridge is rebuilt without you even noticing. That's not just science. That's poetry written in your own body. Lesson 9. Your cells are quietly dying every second, and that's what keeps you alive. It might sound strange, but the truth is, part of you is dying all the time, right now, in this very second, and that's not something to be afraid of. It's actually the reason you're still alive. The silent sacrifice happening inside you. Your body is made up of trillions of cells. Each one has a job to do. Carry oxygen, fight germs, repair damage, send signals to your brain. But here's the thing. Not every cell is meant to last forever. Some are designed to live for hours, some for days, some for years. And when their time is up, they die. It's not an accident. It's part of the plan. It's how your body stays healthy. Apoptosis, the programmed goodbye. There's even a scientific name for it. Apoptosis. It means programmed cell death. It's like your cells have a built-in self-destruct button. They know when they've done their job and when it's time to step aside. Why would a cell choose to die? Because if it stayed too long, it could cause problems. Damaged cells can grow out of control. They can spread mistakes. They can turn into disease. So instead, they quietly break themselves apart, making space for new healthy cells. It's happening right now, everywhere in your body. Your skin cells are falling away so new ones can grow. Your immune cells die after fighting off germs so they don't attack your body. Even cells in your digestive system are constantly replaced because of the wear and tear from breaking down food. Every second, millions of your cells are dying, and millions more are being born. It's like a city where old buildings are taken down and new ones are built in their place, without the city ever shutting down. The balance between life and death. If too many cells died too quickly, your body would collapse. If not enough died, damaged cells could take over. Your health depends on this perfect balance. Death makes room for life. Life replaces death, round and round, without pause. This is happening inside you every moment of every day, whether you feel it or not. The beauty in this cycle. We often think of death as the end, but inside you, it's also the beginning. A white blood cell sacrifices itself to protect you from an infection. A skin cell dies so your body can stay protected from the outside world. A nerve cell shuts down to make way for better communication. It's a quiet act of teamwork that keeps you alive, even though you never see it. What this means for you: you are not a single, unchanging thing. You are a living system, constantly refreshed. You survive because parts of you know when to step aside. You are kept alive by a million tiny acts of selflessness every second. So next time you hear the word death, remember that inside you, death is not always an enemy. Sometimes it's the greatest protector you have. Without it, there would be no room for growth, no room for healing, no room for life. You live because part of you is always letting go. Lesson 10. The you know is always changing, and that's the secret to staying alive. When you think of yourself, you probably picture one person, one body, one mind, one you that has stayed the same since you were born. But that's not how it works. The truth is, you've been many different versions of yourself. Dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands. And each one of them is gone. The version of you from years ago no longer exists. Think about the you from when you were 5 years old, the you from when you were a teenager, the you from just last year. They had different cells, different skin, different blood. Even parts of their brain were wired differently. And yet, somehow, you still feel like you're the same person. How is that possible? The ship of Theseus, your living puzzle. There's an old question in philosophy called the ship of Theseus. If you replace every single part of a ship, piece by piece, until none of the original wood is left, is it still the same ship? Your body works the same way. Over time, every part gets replaced, and yet you're still you. But here's the twist. You're not just the parts. You're also the pattern. The way everything fits together, the memories, the connections, the story. That's what carries over even when the pieces change. Why constant change? keeps you alive. If your body never replaced old parts, you wouldn't survive. Cells get damaged. Tissues wear out. Mistakes build up. By replacing old parts with new ones, your body stays fresh, strong, and ready to adapt. Your immune system remembers past battles, even when the actual immune cells that fought them are gone. Your bones stay strong because old bone is broken down and replaced with new bone. Your skin stays smooth because old cells die and new ones rise to the surface. Without change, life would grind to a halt. You are built for transformation. We often fear change, new jobs, new places, new challenges. But your body is proof that change is natural. It's built into your design. You've already been through constant transformations without even realizing it. If you've survived every version of yourself so far, you can survive the next one too. The illusion of permanence. We like to think we're fixed, stable, permanent. But permanence is an illusion. The truth is, you're a living process, like a flame. The flame keeps its shape, but the fire inside is never the same twice. The wood burns, the air flows, the heat shifts, and yet the flame still dances in the same spot. That's you. The parts change, the pattern remains. Why this matters? It means you don't have to fear letting go of old parts of yourself, whether they're habits, fears, or even relationships. Your body lets go of the old every day, without hesitation, because it knows that's how you survive. If your cells can do it, so can you. So remember, you've never been one single unchanging person. You've been 100 versions of yourself, and you'll be 100 more. The secret to staying alive isn't holding on to every part of you forever. It's knowing when to let go, so something new can take its place. Your body knows this truth. Your cells live by it, and so should you. Lesson 11. One day, every cell in your body will stop. And that's what makes life precious. It's something we don't like to think about. Something we push away every time it crosses our minds. But the truth is, one day, every cell in your body will stop working. The cycle of life and death inside you, the one that's kept you alive every second so far, will finally come to an end. And that's not meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you why every moment you have is worth living. Your body's endless cycle will not last forever. Right now, your cells are constantly repairing, replacing, and protecting you. Millions die every second. Millions more are born. It's an unbroken rhythm, like waves crashing on the shore. But no cycle is infinite. There will come a time when your telomeres, those tiny timers at the ends of your DNA, have counted down to their limit. When the signals that tell your cells to grow will fade. When the systems that keep you alive will begin to slow down. And eventually, stop. Every living thing faces the same truth. It doesn't matter if you're a tree, a bird, or a human. The cells that build you cannot work forever. They are part of a greater law of nature. Everything that begins must end. The tree that once stood tall will return to the earth. The bird will leave nothing but feathers. And you will return your borrowed atoms back to the universe they came from. But this is not the end of your story. You are made of stardust, atoms that have existed for billions of years. When your body stops, those atoms won't vanish. They will simply become part of something else. The iron in your blood could end up in the soil that grows a forest. The calcium in your bones could become part of a mountain. The oxygen you release could fill the lungs of another living creature. In that way, a part of you will continue, scattered across the world, living in new forms. The meaning in the countdown. Knowing that your time is limited changes the way you see everything. It makes you realize that arguments, grudges, and fears are small compared to the gift of being here at all. It makes you appreciate the morning sun on your skin, the sound of someone's laughter, the feeling of your own heartbeat. It makes you want to live fully, not someday, but now. Why the end makes the middle matter. If life lasted forever, you might never feel urgency. You might never understand the value of each day. But because it's limited, every day becomes priceless. It's the same reason a rare gemstone is precious. Not because it's perfect, but because there aren't many like it. Your time is rare. Your moments are rare. That's what makes them worth everything. So remember, one day the orchestra of your cells will play its final note. The cycle will end, and the you that exists right now will be gone. But that day is not today. Today, the music is still playing. The waves are still crashing. Your heart is still beating, and that means you have a chance, right now, to make your time mean something. Live like it matters, because it does. Lesson 12. You are borrowing this body, and one day you'll give it back. From the moment you were born, you were given a gift. A gift so familiar that you often forget it's even there. A gift so complete that it's carried you through every single day of your life without asking for thanks. That gift is your body. It has been your home, your shelter, your bridge between your mind and the world. And one day you will give it back. You've been borrowing from the universe since your first breath. Your body is not something you own. It's something you're borrowing. Every atom in you, every speck of matter that makes up your bones, your skin, your blood, came from somewhere else. The water in your cells once flowed through ancient rivers. The oxygen you breathe has been inside the lungs of countless other creatures before you. The iron in your blood was forged in a star that exploded long before Earth even existed. You have been borrowing these parts from the moment you were born. And the truth is, they were never really yours to keep. The quiet truth about the body you live in. It's easy to think of your body as one solid, permanent thing. But in reality, it's a temporary arrangement, a collection of cells and systems working together for a short time before scattering back into the universe. Your skin will shed, your bones will break down, your cells will dissolve. The structure you call you will loosen, and all its parts will be returned to the endless cycle of matter. It's not destruction, it's transformation. The constant renewal you never see. Right now, your body is recycling itself without your awareness. Old cells die. New cells take their place. The atoms making up your body are constantly moving in and out, exchanged with the environment around you. Every breath you take swaps molecules with the air. Every sip of water adds ancient hydrogen and oxygen atoms that have existed since the beginning of time. Every bite of food brings in matter that was once part of something else. A plant, an animal, a piece of the earth. Your body is a living loan from the universe, constantly renewed but never fully yours. The final repayment. One day, your body will stop renewing itself. Your heart will beat for the last time. Your cells will stop dividing. And the structure holding you together will gently break apart. The atoms will leave. They will travel on, finding new homes in plants, rivers, animals, and air. The iron in your blood may end up in a rock at the bottom of the ocean. The carbon in your cells may feed a tree that grows for 100 years. The calcium in your bones may rest in the soil for centuries before joining the sea. In giving your body back, you are not ending. You are continuing in 1,000 new forms. You have been many things before and will be many things again. Long before you were born, the atoms in your body were part of other stories. Maybe the oxygen in your lungs was once part of a whale's breath in the deep ocean. Maybe the calcium in your bones was once part of a coral reef. Maybe the carbon in your skin was once in the leaf of a tree, swaying in the wind 200 million years ago. You have been mountains and rivers, plants and animals, dust and stars. And after this chapter of your existence ends, you will be all those things again, in some new way. What this means for your time right now. If your body is borrowed, if your cells are only here for a short while, then your job is not to keep them forever. Your job is to use them well while you have them. Use your voice to speak kindness. Use your hands to create something beautiful. Use your feet to explore. Use your heart to love deeply. Use your mind to seek truth. Because one day, the voice, the hands, the feet, the heart, and the mind will all return to the universe, and you won't get them back. The illusion of ownership. We humans like to think we own things. We say, my body, my life, my time. But in reality, everything you have is on loan. Your body is borrowed from the earth. Your time is borrowed from eternity. Your life is borrowed from the infinite chain of existence that came before you. When you see it this way, you realize that the only thing you truly have is the experience of being alive, right now, in this moment. Why this makes life more meaningful? If you think you'll have something forever, you might take it for granted. But when you know it's temporary, it becomes precious. The sunset matters more because it lasts only minutes. A flower is more beautiful because it blooms for a short season. A life is more meaningful because it is finite. Your borrowed body is the same way. You get one chance to live in it, and then it will be gone. The gift you leave behind. When you give your body back, you don't leave empty-handed. You leave behind the effects of your choices, the kindness you showed, the love you gave, the knowledge you shared, the beauty you created. Those things will ripple outward, carried by the people and places you've touched, long after your borrowed body is gone. So remember, you were born with nothing. You will leave with nothing. But in between, you have the chance to make everything. Every cell you have right now is a part of a cosmic loan that has lasted billions of years. One day, the loan will be called back. The universe will take its pieces and scatter them to the wind. And in that moment, your time in this body will be done. But right now, it's still yours to live in. Right now, the clock is still ticking. Right now, you are still breathing, still moving, still able to choose what to do with the time you've been given. So use it. Live fully, love deeply, learn endlessly, give generously. And when the day comes to hand this body back, you'll know you used it well. Because in the end, you were never just borrowing a body. You were borrowing a chance to exist. And that is the most precious gift of all. Right now, you are alive. Your heart is pushing blood through miles of veins. Your lungs are pulling in air that has passed through forests, oceans, and ancient skies. Your cells are working together, billions of them, just so you can be here, listening to this. And here's the most important truth. You are not just surviving, you are becoming. Every moment is shaping you. Every breath is building the next version of you. And every second you spend in this body is a chance to create something so alive, so unforgettable, that it will outlast you. So take that spark you feel right now and grow it. Let it bloom into something bigger than yourself. Let it push you to learn more, see more, be more. Because the clock is still ticking. And as long as it is, your story is still open. And we're going to fill it with wonder. Subscribe now, stay curious, and let's keep blooming together.